right, check it out. Today we're looking at the EVGA P55 SLI Motherboard. Very sweet deal. Lots of good stuff here. It's affordable. You get an i7 processor on it or an i5. You get some extreme performance. You can run SLI on here with 2 dual-slot GPUs. You can also run a dedicated physics card. It's got a billion USB 2.0 ports. It's got 3 headers on the board. It's got LCD poster. It's got a ton of overclocking features. Let's jump right into it before I keep going and get carried away. Now, starting off with the socket, as you know, this is the P55 chipset, socket 1156, so all your Linfield processors are going to work on here. Core i5 750 and Core i7 860 are both going to go in this socket. While we're talking about the socket, I want you guys to realize that this is a very cool board because it has this right here. See that? Multiple holes for different CPU coolers. That means you do not have to replace your CPU cooler. You can use your old 775 CPU cooler and it'll bolt right on here, keep your i7 or your i5 nice and cool. I also want you guys to take note, solid state caps throughout the board, as well as 8 plus 2-phase pulse width modulation on this board with a controllable. It's controllable. You can actually adjust the switching frequency up to 1,189 kilohertz. That's going to give you quite a bit of heat, but it's also going to give you some very clean power for your CPU for a very nice overclock, so that's very, very sweet. Also, right over here, memory on this board, 4 DIMMs, up to 16 gigabytes of dual-channel DDR3, up to 2,600 megahertz, even higher if you could overclock any higher than that. Very, very extreme little setup. Talking about expansion ports, we're going to move down over here to the bottom part of the board. You have 3 PCI Express X16 slots right here. Now, they aren't running all in X16. Obviously, if you populate them all, they're going to bifurcate down. But you do have the ability to run SLI. You do have 16 lanes of PCI Express coming from the DMI, from the processor in P55 chipset. So basically, you're going to do X8, X8, and then down here you have your extra one for your dedicated physics card. You also have a PCI Express X1 up here at the top, and you have 2 standard PCIs down here for whatever it is you're going to use those for. Also, while we're down here, let's get this bottom stuff out of the way. Reset, power, clear CMOS buttons are all there, and if we move over here, we got a bunch of USB headers. So you got 3 in total. That's 6 headers, or 6 USB 2.0 ports that can come out of there, plus a FireWire, plus your front panel connector. You also have an LCD poster. That's going to give you pretty much postcodes, and after that's going to give you temperatures for your CPU. Also, a very cool feature right over here. Let me turn it over so you can read it. Dual BIOSes. You have a BIOS selector. You lift that pin, go to the other pin, and you're on your second BIOS. You can run you can check the new BIOS before you use it, or you can have multiple profiles, or you can back up a BIOS. It's really up to you. You just have multiple BIOSes, which is very, very cool. Also, since we're right here, might as well show you all the SATA ports. You got 6 right there that go directly to P55 and then to your CPU. They're going to offer RAID 0, RAID 1, RAID 5, and RAID 0 plus 1, and those are all, of course, SATA 2. So that gives you 3 gigabit per second. Very nice and fast. Good stuff. I'll show you the back panel. Quite a bit going on back here, actually. 2 USB 2.0 ports, PS2, clear CMOS button, SPDIF optical out, SPDIF coaxial out, eSATA. Very nice. Next to another eSATA. Very nice. FireWire right there. 4 USB 2.0 ports, dual gigabit Ethernet, and then 8.1 channel HD audio, which is also very, very, very nice to have. Very, very fast. And it's got a very nice, I'm sorry, not very fast, very clean sounding, low signal to noise ratio. It's got one of the nicer codecs in it and one of the nicer controllers. So very nice audio. You do not really need to get a sound card if you have that platform, I might as well tell you. Also, you will note this big E. I don't know if you can see it, but there is an EVGA logo in there. Yep, there's no way. Oh, there you go. You can see it right there. That's going to light up. Very nice. So it's going to give your board a nice, pleasing, aesthetic look. Also, some overclocking features I want to tell you about. You do have V-Droop control over here, which is very, very nice. You have onboard buttons. We already talked about those and I showed them to you. But you do also have the voltage read points, and those are hidden right here. Now, they're at the top of the board because they're usually being used by benchers, but those little dots right there are very useful if you're an overclocker. They let you use a multimeter tool to basically, you touch them, it's going to give you your voltage point for terminal voltage, PLL, VCore, VDIM, all that good stuff. And even for P55, which as you can see there, it says PCH, it's Platform Control Hub. So very, very cool to have those. As far as overclocking goes, that's really nice. Also, a couple simple overclocking features that are kind of included in the motherboard, inside the software, inside your OS. One in the BIOS is called dummy OC. pretty much gives you what it says, a dummy overclock. It'll just bump it up a little bit. Not a huge deal, not the best overclock, but it does work, and it works well. Also, elite tuning utility, really, really cool. Adjustable profiles. You can set up a bunch of settings. It's really cool. It's not your ultimate overclock because it's only doing your base clock and your base voltages and stuff. But once you figure out that, you transfer to the BIOS and you keep going using that. You don't have to reset every time. It's faster, and you can literally overclock your computer pretty thoroughly in about a day versus a week, including testing. So very, very nice to do that. Really nice board. Like it a lot. It's the EVGA P55 SLI. If you have any questions on it, email me, and I'll see you guys next time. For more information on the EVGA P55 SLI motherboard, type in E145-2073 into the search engine of any of these major retailers. For Computer TV, I'm Albert.